The past week in the GL space has been a mess. It's been pretty depressing to watch. We've got Faye coming out with her own press conference, Gmmtv being accused of mistreating its actresses. TK and Nur have been facing nonstop harassment and privacy invasion, including transphobic and racial insults aimed at TK. On top of that, there's a controversial pairing of a minor with an adult actress in the upcoming GL. It's just too much. So in this video, I want to talk about all of that. Let's start with Faye's press con. After being harassed online for months and with 9star facing a huge boycott, she finally decided to speak up. And in the last couple of days, I've seen every kind of parasocial fan imaginable. People acting like they live and breathe with these actresses, as if their favorite can never do any wrong. Both F and Y fans are literally tearing each other apart online. Everyone's trying to prove who's the real victim here. But I'm not here to talk about who ghosted who or who ended the relationship first. Because just like everyone else on the internet, I don't actually know these people personally. All we know are the statements that both sides have made. And I feel like some fans really need to remind themselves of that. You don't live with these actresses. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. What I do want to talk about is the narrative that's suddenly being pushed against Faye. This idea that she's attacking Yoko. I've seen so many tweets saying things like, if she really cared, she wouldn't have mentioned the Valentine's Day plans, or she's just trying to play the victim. But let's stop right there. Faye had every right to share her side of the story. That Valentine's Day story she shared wasn't some random dig. It was a direct reply to what Yoko herself said during 9star's press conference back in March. So before people start twisting her words, let's actually look at both sides. Yoko said, and this is straight from the official 9star channel, timestamps and all, which by the way is kind of funny because the transcript is actually better than the subtitles for their own shows. But anyway, here's what she said. The last time I met Faye was back at the shoot for the premium session. When we had a video call at that event, we barely spoke to each other that day. Faye told me that we ended on good terms and went separate ways, and she didn't want me to refer to her again, and I have the same idea as her. When I explain something, I don't want anybody to get affected because of my actions. If they were to get blamed, if some of you took my words the wrong way, I beg you, please do not threaten anyone. Now, Yoko shared her version of when they last talked, and Faye did the same. So how can people say Faye is the one attacking her? She's literally doing the same thing, sharing her side of the story. It's only fair. If Yoko can talk about it publicly, then Faye has every right to respond publicly too. Now, who's lying and who left who? Honestly, we don't know. Y fans are saying Faye ditched Yoko. FA fans are saying Yoko ghosted Faye, that Faye had Valentine's dinner plans and got completely iced out. But let's be real, we don't actually know what happened between them. Everything we know comes from these press conferences. And no matter what's said, fans are always going to believe whatever their bias says. That's just how fandom works. Logic goes out the window when emotions take over. But what we do know is that the company definitely messed up. We now have solid proof that they tried to sabotage their actresses' careers, especially when they pulled the whole 4 Elements project from them. Faye didn't just show up to talk, she came with receipts. And not long ago, we had Nawat's statements, and now there's even a phone call from the show's producers backing this up. Here's what Faye said. That's something many fans are curious about, and so am I. I was never informed whether I'd be part of it or not. Fans began to speculate because of emojis, sunflowers, and bubbles, and they guessed what it all meant. I knew as much as everyone else. I wasn't part of any conversation between the company and the seniors. One of the seniors called me and asked, "Why aren't you joining the project?" I answered, "That's not true. I really want to be part of it." Later, they told me, "It's okay. There will be another opportunity for you two to work together." Another senior also called and asked, "Did you fight so badly that you can't work together anymore? Was the project canceled because of that?" And I can clearly say that was never the case. So basically, she was completely left out of the loop, and that's a huge red flag for how 9star treats its own talent. Then comes probably the biggest reveal from Faye's press conference, the phone call with Pituk, one of the producers behind 4 Elements. Here's what she said. "When I decided to invest in 4 Elements, I planned for you to be in the project. However, the owner of your company later informed me that they wanted to withdraw your participation. The reason given was concern that you two wouldn't be able to work together smoothly." And Faye responded, "As everyone can now see, I found out at the same time as the public, but I never said I didn't want to join. I always did." Now, here's where things get messy. A day before the Thailand fan meeting, the company apparently arranged a meeting between Faye, Yoko, and the owner, with a psychiatrist present. And I'm sorry, but that's just weird. Like, Why is a psychiatrist involved in a business meeting between two actresses and their boss? That feels more like a power move than an attempt to mediate. The question they were asked in that meeting was, can you imagine working separately if the duo were to end? And Faye replied, as an actress, my job is to act. If I have to play a rock, I'll be a rock. I can do it. Later, the company asked her to come back again, but she refused. Who can blame her? She said that first meeting really shook her. The saddest part is that people completely misunderstood what she said. They twisted her words thinking she wanted to end the duo, which wasn't true at all. And somehow, all the blame ended up falling on her. But when you see how everyone from the Four Elements team has publicly supported Faye, it's pretty clear she's not lying about any of this. At this point, the fandom has become so divided, it's just chaos. F fans and Y fans are tearing each other apart, and you all need to chill. Like, seriously. Maybe take a breath, step away from the drama for a second. Both actresses deserve peace. They've been through enough already. The best thing fans can do now is just let go a little and hope both of them find some closure and move on from all this toxicity. Next up, Gmmtv, once again proving that sometimes big companies just don't think. Because who thought it was a good idea to make their actresses kneel in front for a group photo in full dresses and heels, while the men just stood behind, hands in pockets, like it's a boys' club photo from the 1950s? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? The internet's completely done with Gmmtv at this point, and rightfully so. This was a terrible idea, and I don't know how many people in that room looked at that setup and said, yeah, this looks fine. And before anyone says it, no, this is not a BL versus GL thing. It's not about fan wars or comparing industries. It's about basic respect. Just acknowledge that what happened was wrong. Because the excuses I'm seeing online, they're embarrassing. Some fans are actually blaming the camera angle and cameraman. You're out here defending your favorites so hard that you're blaming the camera guy instead of just admitting it looked bad. Come on, be serious. You can blame the organizers, the photographers, the management, whatever makes you sleep better at night. But at the end of the day, someone approved that setup, and that's the real issue. It was disrespectful, it was unnecessary, and it should have never happened.
Oh, no, they shouldn't have to kneel. I mean, we can get down there, like, is there, like, any other positions we can get in where they don't have to kneel? They got on, like, dresses and heels and stuff. Like, they don't got to, no, they shouldn't have to.
I think Gmmtv has already deleted the picture, but that's not enough. I'm still waiting for them to actually apologize, not quietly delete and move on like nothing happened. Because deleting a photo doesn't erase the mindset that made it happen in the first place. Now, let's talk about TK and Noor's situation. It's been, a month and a half since this couple came into the spotlight, and already they're dealing with privacy breaches, rumors, and even boyfriend allegations. Not too long ago, the company actually released a statement asking fans to respect the artist's privacy. They specifically said not to post any of TK's family pictures, old videos, or any personal stuff people dig up online. This reminds me of something that happened with Miyu. She was on a live when people started spamming her father's full legal name in the comments, and she had to ask them to stop. Like, why would anyone even do that? Why are people involving family members and sharing their information when they're not part of the entertainment industry at all? It's such a huge invasion of privacy. Then we've got Noor, who's been hit with boyfriend rumors. If she does have a boyfriend, good for her. She's an adult, and that should be completely normal. The rumor started just because fans noticed she and her friends were at the same location as someone else, and she even had to go on live to explain what was actually going on.
With me in that trip, and okay, yes, that person actually went to that trip, but in that trip I went with several of my friends because I went in since the beginning of the filming part. So I was been super stressed about the filming because I had to prepare a lot. I had to prepare a lot of things. So I was just stressing out, and I just need a little getaway before I started filming. So I went to scuba diving with my friends, and yeah, that's about it. And also some pictures that you guys been seeing that with similar locations, and yeah, and of course it has to be similar because me and my friends and that person went together. That's why the photo is very similar. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. yeah, that's about it. So I also said that I'm very worried about TK. I'm very worried about TK because I saw some comments saying that TK might know about this, but she didn't speak up. And I really please don't talk about this or put this problem on TK, because I'm very, very worry about her. Actually, it's one of the main reasons that I decided to come here and talk to everyone about this, because I don't want TK to stress out, and I don't want her to get into any trouble at all, because I'm super worried. I already talked to her today about what happened, and yeah, I can tell that she's super stressed out. And so yeah, please just don't put it on her. If you have any questions, just come talk to me, please. I can answer anything, I can tell you guys anything. So yeah, I'm so worried about her.
This kind of behavior from fans really needs to stop. It's toxic. And there's one more thing I wanted to touch on. TK's been facing a lot of sexualization in the fandom. Actually, I'd say it's more like over-sexualization. I've seen some really disturbing comments, including people calling her trans or ladyboy. Now, being called trans is not an insult. It only becomes offensive when people use it like it's something negative. But most of these comments I've seen were coming from international fans, and they clearly carried a stereotype about Thai women that's been around forever. It's harmful and deeply disrespectful. We've seen this happen before. None other than Lisa from Blackpink faced the same thing. Remember when Azealia Banks called her a ladyboy multiple times? She literally said under Lisa's Met Gala post, and I quote, "I'm sorry, but this is giving ladyboy." That term is often used in Southeast Asia to refer to trans women, but when outsiders use it like that, it's often loaded with transphobia and racism. Saying this is giving ladyboy isn't some clever red. It's a region-specific slur that's been weaponized against Southeast Asian trans women, and in this case, it was used to dehumanize a cisgender Southeast Asian woman. The same thing is happening with TK, and for what? Just because she's Thai? Let's be crystal clear. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being transgender, but implying someone is secretly trans like it's some kind of gotcha moment, that's both transphobic and sinister. And believe me when I say this, transphobia is very real in the GL community. Yep, it exists. Just a couple of weeks ago, there was a whole debate on Twitter about trans women representation in GLs. One viral tweet said, "We need GLs with trans women. We need GLs with disabled women. We need GLs that tackle social issues. We need GLs with morally gray, flawed characters. We need GLs with all kinds of queer women who express themselves differently." From there, people started bringing up the series 23.5, which actually included a trans woman character. And suddenly, the comment section became a breeding ground for transphobia that exposed how deep these biases run in the GL space. What I saw with TK was exactly that, a mix of sexualized and transphobic remarks that have been used against Thai women for ages. And let's be honest, most of those comments weren't from locals. They were from international fans trying to sound edgy or funny. But it's not funny. They're sexualizing her body and spreading transphobic ideas under the disguise of jokes. We seriously need to stop normalizing this kind of nonsense and start calling it out instead of engaging in it. And lastly, I want to talk about the age gap issue in Thai GL. The bar is already low, and it's somehow getting even lower. So last week, there was this whole mess about a 16-year-old actress being paired with a 25-year-old. Yep, you heard that right, 16 and 25. Right now, the youngest actress in a GL pairing we have is Jaina, who's 19. And I've already said this before, it makes me uncomfortable. Because let's be real, intimacy is a big selling point in GLs. It's an open secret. If the couple has great chemistry and good intimate scenes, the show's guaranteed to get attention, even if the storyline is weak or full of plot holes. So this new company called BDLMD, which I've never even heard of before, was promoting their first GL project. They even showed up at a recent WeTV event with the cast and all that. But when people on Twitter found out there is a minor in the GL, and that minor, mind you, was being promoted as couple, the internet went nuclear. Fans decided this show needed to be canceled before it even started. The older actress in this situation tweeted, "Adult minor is my biggest concern too. I'm aware of it, and we're on the same page about every concern you have." And then she added, "For me, Eileen is just my sister, nothing more than that." Now, this statement just made things worse. People were mad because it sounded tone-deaf and kind of like weak damage control. If you're in a project that people are calling out for pairing an adult with a minor, you don't respond with, "She's like my sister." That's not the move. Then the company released their own statement, saying it was all a misunderstanding, that the hashtags were wrong, and that the actresses are actually playing sisters in the show, not lovers. But fans weren't buying it, especially people who have read the original novel the series is based on. One person summed it up perfectly. "The photos you posted don't look sisterly at all. It just sounds like you came up with that excuse last minute after realizing how bad it looked. If you're going to cast a minor, make sure there's zero romantic involvement, period. And they said those actresses aren't even part of the cast anymore, so clearly this whole thing was a mess from start to finish. And another thing, why were you releasing teaser photos that look exactly like scenes from the novel everyone's talking about? People who've read the book immediately recognized it. This one comment said, "Pure gaslighting LMAO, we're not blind. The picture screams, couple, nothing sisterly about it. Now that backlash started, they're calling it a sisterly bond to cover up." And they have a point, because if this was truly a sisterly storyline, why did the actress herself admit that she had concerns about the age gap and even tried talking to the team about it? Why would that even be an issue if they were just playing sisters? She literally said she sees her co-star as a sister, not that they're playing sisters. That's a big difference. Then, after the company's statement, the actress came back with an apology of her own, basically repeating what the company said. According to her, the whole controversy happened because of how the promo was handled, the wrong hashtags, the couple marketing, and just the overall bad communication. Here's what she said. "I initially accepted the role because it didn't involve any romantic plot with a minor. I was also really concerned about that issue, but when the promotion came out like that, I realized it was inappropriate and could normalize something that shouldn't be." And that's a fair statement. At least she admitted it and reflected on it, which is rare. But at the end of the day, no matter what the roles are, there should never be any kind of fan service between a minor and an adult. That shouldn't even be a debate. These kinds of situations open doors to exploitation, and the industry really needs to draw a hard line here.